What is really going on with the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Are they done so? Are they bad? Are they gonna get canceled? Are some of them gonna be fired? Like so many things that people are saying online. Well, I got some exclusive tea for you that I have been authorized to say out there, and I think that's my favorite can of tea because it comes from very reliable sources. All right, and we need to talk about it. But before we start, welcome back. I'm the real Andy of Beverly Hills. Welcome to another piece of tea. If you are new here, welcome to the Beverly Troop, where I keep it real and I mention it all. So make sure to subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And if you're a part of the old crew and you have not done it yet, go to the notification bell, turn it off, and turn it on again. All right. Also, go to my other YouTube channel for my podcast, Pop Smash by The Real Andy. I just dropped a new episode on Saturday that you do not want to miss. All right. The link is down below. All right. So let's talk about this mess, because the Real Housewife of Beverly Hills right now is on what, it has been called a transitional period. Okay. And some people are enjoying it. Some people are not enjoying it that much. I think we can all agree that this is not the worst season ever, but it's also not like the best season ever, So it is, that's what it's called, like a transitional period. I think it was important for the show to return to its roots, and to kind of like breathe a little bit of air, to see where can we go from here. I think in Beverly Hills it got darker and darker and darker through the years, and then we got used to the fact that if there was not some like deep dark like situation going on, then it was not good, right? But the problem with that is that it is not a Latino moment, guys, sustainable thing to do, because not every single year you're gonna have a big dark secret to expose, and looking for a housewife to get exposed all the time, it could be very tiring, and it just is not gonna be good TV, eventually. At some point, you have to rely on the storylines of all of the other ladies. You have to look at situations like what happened on Real House of Salt Lake City, which all of the ladies are able to come together, and create and share storylines for each one of them, and they all participate, right? So I think that's what they were trying to do on this season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Alex Baskin said it from the very beginning, we just want to get back a little bit to that old Real Housewife of Beverly Hills that we used to love, before everything turned a little bit too crazy, right? We have Rachel So joining the show. We have Amanda joining the show, and people are still kind of like here and there, about what is going on. We have Sutton practically becoming a whole new person on this season. Erica Jane, we have no idea what is going on with her. Dorit Kemsley trying to make us, trying to make fetch happen with her divorce, which is like, it's not gonna happen, but like anyways, And of course we have our queen, Kyle Richards, trying to, keep everything together so it kind of like works out. Well, I got some tea, from a very reliable source, from, let's just say, big places, about the state of the show and how it will eventually move forward and what is really going on. And I think it was important to share this because there is a lot of chatter online, and we need to remember and understand that just because something is being said on social media doesn't really completely translate into what is happening in the network, or with the production company, or with the show in general. So I have been authorized, to like let you know about this. I think I wanted to read a part of this, so you kind of like really know what is going on, okay? So it says over here that the combined viewership ratings for The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills are actually fantastic, but there will be a casting overhaul next season because its live viewership is going down. And the current cast is not testing well with the right audiences, you know. For example, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City has lower ratings but higher favorability amongst fans with its cast, whereas Real Housewives of Beverly Hills has higher ratings with a cast that ranks lower in likability, which advertisers pay attention to. Okay. Now, before we continue, I have said this before, but I want to remind you that advertisers are really what keeps these shows moving, okay? A big part of how all of this money come from, you know, and how, you know, TV works is because of the advertisers. They need to be surrounded by people who are liked. That's why when you get big backlash, or you have like racist people, or you have things that are like canceled, you know, then advertisers, they just pull off and they're like, oh, no, don't put me with that mess over there. And then there is no money, and then it becomes a huge mess, okay? Now, its live viewership is down because a large group of its African American audience in the ABC1 and CDE demographic disengaged when Garcelle left the show. I actually remember hearing about this because a lot of people were very angry about Garcelle leaving, or Garcelle being pushed out from the show. All right. Now it says over here, this accounts for the 300,000 or so missing viewers, and this is part of the reason why Nene Leakes has been welcomed back to the company. She gave the network its following within that demographic with the Real Housewives of Atlanta. It is a very powerful group, which is why other NBC shows like Traitors will have no less than 2 black housewives in any given season, because their fans generally have a stable to high incomes and will buy advertised goods. Bosoma St. John, she doesn't do as well with that demographic. And this is what is interesting, that she's doing extremely well with white women over 50. Now, I want to mention this because there has been a lot of talk about the difference between Garcelle Boybay and Bosoma St. John as African American women in the show. And it was because while Garcelle was trying to be a lot of like awareness, and let's talk about race, and let's talk about, you know, how race plays a situation inside of a reality TV show, you know, or all of this. Bosoma St. John on the other side is trying to play the card of like, let's just be entertaining, you know, and let's just give these white women what they want, which is this stereotypical black women, you know. That's what people have been saying online. And now with this, it kind of like confirmed that a little bit. It says that is why Garcelle knew what she was doing when she tweeted what she did after her last reunion. It worked. Bravo, however, is not panicking, but it is aware of this and thinks the show needs to be revised for it to be sustainable. Kyle Richards' spot is always saved, but she is not happy with this cast either, and she is recommending people left and right. I actually hear about this because I heard from several people in Beverly Hills how they have been receiving calls from Bravo to be cast, and that only means that they are actively trying to look people to recast, you know. Sutton and Bosoma are ranking the lowest overall with Erika Jane, while Jennifer Tilly and Amanda are actually performing best with women in both ABC1 and CDE. There is a reason why Garcelle was higher for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, as Nene Leakes was leaving the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and the reverse is happening now 6 years later. Bravo has all the data, and they are planning to do the right thing for the show and for the audience. Now, I think this is very interesting, guys, because it's all about how are you going to be able to continue having this show for a long period of time. And I have to agree that some changes need to be done to this show. It doesn't need it needs a full reboot, no, but it definitely needs to lose, I want to say, 2 to 3 housewives, and we need an influx of like either new blood or maybe someone from the past with new blood, like that kind of like reboot that it actually will work out. Okay, we need people who are actually Beverly Hills, who has the money to maintain the lifestyle, who doesn't have legal issues, like extreme huge legal issues, and who is also not afraid to talk and to be messy and to create a good reality TV show. Okay, so I don't know, I have my pick of who needs to leave the show. I think it's not a secret. I have said it many times before. I think Erica Jane needs to leave the show. I think that Dorit Kemsley needs to leave the show. And then it's all about the 2 wild cards to me right now will be between Bosoma St. John and Sutton Strack. Why? Because while I do love Sutton and Bosoma, they are not bringing anything right now, and there's need to be some kind of change in there. I will say if this continues, I could say 3 housewives leaving the show, which will give for like some kind of like soft reboot moving forward and bringing some kind of like new blood. To me, they should bring back Crystal Minkoff, and of course, like I would love to see Lisa Vanderpump return to the show, but I don't know. I don't think that is ever going to happen, or maybe a Camille Grammer, maybe I don't know if Denise Richards, I don't know, but like we definitely need some kind of like something that make us feel excited about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills as we used to do it before. Now, a lot of talk about Lisa Rinna potentially returning to the show. I don't think that she will return to the show. I don't think Lisa Rinna wants to be a Real Housewife anymore, to be honest with you. And I don't think the people really are wanting to see Lisa Rinna back on the show, So I think Lisa Rinna made it very clear on the trailers that she's not Team Bravo anymore. But definitely we also need new blood. I mean, this show needs to evolve, and I think it should be people around Amanda's age, because we need to make this show also good for a new generation of fans. So anyways, let me know what you guys think on the comments below. How do you feel about all of this? And if you want to get all the tea related to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or any of the other Bravo shows, make sure to like this video, share this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you around. See ya. Bye.